Hello my lovelies, it is time for another book haul, so stay tuned. So I have 30 different books here that I accrued this month. This one was gifted to me. These here were ones that I bought online, and the rest came from different subscription boxes or special edition boxes. So let's start with the one that was gifted to me. My friend Kaylani from Kaylani Simply Me sent this to me. And that is The Magic Fish by Trung Le Nguyen. And this says, real life isn't a fairy tale. In fairy tales, the prince falls in love with the princess, but Tyne has a different story to tell. His parents are refugees struggling to learn English, and he doesn't know how to come out to them in Vietnamese. He doesn't even have the right words. How can he ever know if his parents will accept him? The answer is in fairy tales, a language that Tyne and his parents share. Tyne learns from his favorite stories as he navigates the world with the help of friends, family, and fairy tales. And this is a super cute graphic novel, and I am super excited to read this. And thank you again, Kaylani. Let's scoot these up a little bit. Okay, these next 4 books are all by the same author. I got the UK editions from Book Depository of The Cousins, One of Us is Next, One of Us is Lying, and Two Can Keep a Secret by Karen M. McManus. I just thought these were all so pretty with their foil and sprayed edges and all of that. I've actually read The Cousins and really enjoyed it. I'll read you what it says on the back of these. For The Cousins, it says, the Story family are the envy of their neighbors, rich, beautiful, and glamorous, until it all falls apart. The 4 children are suddenly dropped by their mother with a single sentence, "You know what you did." They never hear from her again. Years later, when cousins Aubrey, Millie, and Jonah Story receive a mysterious invitation to spend the summer at their grandmother's resort, they have no choice but to follow their curiosity and meet the woman who's been such an enigma their entire lives. The teenagers are determined to discover the truth, but some secrets are better left alone. For One of Us is Lying, it says, 5 students walk into detention, only 4 leave alive. Yale hopeful Bronwyn has never publicly broken a rule. Sports star Cooper only knows that he's doing what he's doing in the baseball diamond. Bad boy Nate is one misstep away from a life of crime. Prom queen Addie is holding together the cracks in her perfect life. And outsider Simon, creator of the notorious gossip app at Bayview High, won't ever talk about any of them again. He dies 24 hours before he could post their deepest secrets online. Investigators conclude it's no accident. All of them are suspects. Everyone has secrets, right? What really matters is how far you'll go to protect them. And then One of Us is Next is the sequel. And then Two Can Keep a Secret says, Echo Ridge is reeling. This picturesque town nestled near the Canadian border experienced its first tragic loss in 1996 when high school senior Sarah Cochran vanished while walking home from the library. Then 5 years ago, homecoming queen Lacey Kilduff was found dead in the aptly named Murderland Halloween Park. Now the killer claims to be back. A small town that keeps losing its homecoming queens. 2 murders still unsolved. Echo Ridge is not a good place to be popular. Okay, and then this is a book that I pre-ordered, and if you watched the vlog when I got this, I was just so excited. That is In Every Generation by Kendar Blake. This is sort of a continuation of the Buffyverse. This says, Frankie the Vampire Slayer. Sorry if y'all hear a lot of background noise. Einstein is running amok. Xander's got a friend over. They're running amok. There's lots of amok going on. This says, Frankie the Vampire Slayer. Frankie Rosenberg wasn't yet alive when her mom Willow, her aunt Buffy, and the original Scooby Gang destroyed the Hellmouth and saved the world from the first evil. These days, life in New Sunnydale is blissfully quiet. Frankie is just trying to survive her sophomore year at the rebuilt high school and use her budding magical powers to make the world a better place. But that world is suddenly plunged into danger when the Slayer community is the target of a deadly attack, leaving the future of the line uncertain. Then Frankie discovers she's sort of freakishly strong. Oh, and there's something Willow never told her about her true identity. Cue the opening credits. Quicker than she can carve a steak, Frankie discovers there's more to saving the world than witty one-liners and stupid hot demons. Now everyone looks to her for answers. But speaking up has never been her strong suit, and it's hard to be taken seriously when your mom is such a powerful witch she almost ended the world once, while your greatest magic trick is recycling. Despite the many challenges standing in her way, Frankie must assemble her own bumbling Scooby gang, get dressed up in Buffy's vintage 90s clothes, and become a new Slayer for a new generation, before whatever came for the rest of the Slayers comes for her next. And I am so excited to read this. Okay, this next book is one that I just kind of randomly came across. I think it's self-published or indie published. I came across it on Amazon and I was just like, yeah, I need to read this. That is Men, Murder, and Makeup by Shane K. Morton. This is the first in the Drag Queen Detective series. This says, Murder is a Drag. Victor Summers has a secret. Not only is he Mabel Grove's top hairstylist and drag queen extraordinaire, he's also the town's reclusive best-selling novelist, murder mystery author Vicky Dean. The murder of Mayor Jennings has everyone in the small town on edge, and Vicky Dean is the prime suspect. Can Victor clear her name without revealing his secret identity? The hunky new sheriff, Harper Wolf, investigates the murder. Will he help Victor prove Vicky's innocence, or be a threat to not only his freedom, but also his heart? Victor must let go of his fear and step out of the shadows in his high heels and lipstick to solve this mystery. He is ready for his close-up whether he wants it or not. And I just think it sounds fabulous. Okay, next is a graphic novel that I also kind of stumbled upon on Amazon and was checking it out, and it seems quite steamy and interesting. It is an adult graphic novel. This is Fine Print, or How a Divine Contract May Not Be the Best Cure for a Broken Heart. And this is by Stefan Sejic. It looks like so. This says, for Lauren Thomas, the path of her life choices is a tale of wrong turns. Somewhere along the path, she had lost it all, her smile, her soul, and the love of her life. Now she seeks any way to dull the pain of her broken heart. And while mundane solutions provide nothing but a temporary reprieve, she may just find the solution to her problem with the divine. A contract with the goddess of desire promises much, but as she will eventually learn, it may not be the best cure for a broken heart. From Stefan Sejic, creator of Sunstone, comes a tale of the dumbass and the divine, and the storm that a single butterfly can cause with one simple, innocent flap. And I am so excited to read this. I have flipped through it, and yeah, just to give you an idea. Well, I mean, the cover enough gives you an idea. Okay, next up, if you've been like watching my wrap-up vlogs and all of that, you know I've been reading TJ Klune's Green Creek series. And so I have The Extraordinaries by TJ Klune. I'm just finishing up Green Creek while I'm filming this, so I'm excited to get into this one. This says, Nick Bell is not extraordinary, but being the most popular fan fiction writer in the Extraordinaries fandom isn't a bad start. After a chance encounter with Shadowstar, Nova City's mightiest hero and Nick's biggest crush, Nick is no longer satisfied writing about heroes. He wants to become one. So he sets out to make himself something more, something extraordinary. Full of valiant adventures, thrilling twists, queer romance, and laugh-out-loud humor, this is the beginning of a remarkable story about a fanboy with ADHD and the heroes he loves. Okay, so these next 4 books came from the Once Upon a Book Club Advent box. They were gifts. I got the adult box this time. So the first one is After All by Heidi McLaughlin. And this says, Happiness After Heartache. Brooklyn Hewitt hasn't stepped foot in Cape Harbor for 15 years, not since an accident claimed the love of her life, Austin Woods. Desperate to move forward, Brooklyn has focused on raising her daughter for the past 14 years. But when the opportunity comes along to renovate the old Driftwood Inn, Brooklyn knows it's time to go home. But it won't be easy. For one, Austin's best friend, Bowie Holmes, still lives in Cape Harbor. Brooklyn hasn't quite been able to forget him, not since the night they spent together, the same night they both lost Austin. Separated by tragedy and guilt, they're brought together by the Driftwood Project. And as they rebuild the inn, they discover they're also rebuilding something else. Brooklyn's always been desperate to move on, not knowing that first she needs to reconcile past transgressions. She can't forget, but she can forgive Austin, Bowie, and herself on her way towards long-awaited happiness. Then we have The Unlikely Adventures of the Sherrigill Sisters by Ballycar Joswal. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Alright, this one says, the author of the Reese Witherspoon Book Club selection, Erotic Stories for Punjabi Widows, follows her acclaimed American debut with this witty, life-affirming family drama, an Indian This Is Where I Leave You, about three Punjabi sisters embarking on a pilgrimage to their homeland to lay their mother to rest. The British-born Sherrigill sisters, Rajni, Yasmin, and Sharina, barely got along growing up, and as adults have grown even farther apart. But on her deathbed, her mother voices one last wish, that her daughters will make a pilgrimage together to the Golden Temple in Amritsar to carry out her final rites. After a trip to India with her mother as a teenager, school principal Rajni vowed never to return, but she's always been a dutiful daughter and cannot even now refuse her mother's request. Struggling actress Yasmin leaps at the chance to drop out of sight. Unbeknownst to her sisters, she's escaping the wrong kind of internet fame. Baby of the family, Sharina's wealthy in-laws are pushing her to make a pivotal decision. Time away will help her decide whether she will obey or stand up for herself. By turns funny, heartfelt, pointed, and wonderfully insightful, The Unlikely Adventures of the Sherrigill Sisters illuminates the bonds of family, sisterhood, and heritage that gives us wings and roots despite our differences. Okay, next up I have Jenny Moon by Benjamin Ludwig. And this one says, meet Jenny Moon. She's mostly your average teenager. She plays flute in the high school band, has weekly basketball practice, and reads Robert Frost poems for English class. But Jenny is autistic, and so what's important to her might seem a bit different. Starting every day with exactly 9 grapes for breakfast, singing along to Michael Jackson, taking care of her baby doll, and crafting a secret plan of escape. Jenny has been in foster care for years, and for the first time in her life, she has found her forever home. After being traumatically taken from her abusive birth mother and moved around to different homes, she is finally in a place where she'll be safe and protected, with a family who will love and nurture her. This is exactly the kind of home that all foster kids are hoping for. But Jenny has other plans. She'll steal and lie and reach across her past to exploit the good intentions of those who love her, anything it takes to get back what's missing in her life. She'll even try to get herself kidnapped. Told in an extraordinary and wholly original voice, Jenny Moon is at once quirky, charming, heartbreaking, suspenseful, and poignant. It's a story of a journey about being an outsider trying to find a place to belong, and about making sense of a world that just doesn't seem to add up. And then the last of those books, I have The Vanished Bride by Bella Ellis. And this is a Bronte sisters mystery. This says, before they became legendary writers, Charlotte, Emily, and Anne Bronte were detectives. Yorkshire, 1845. A young wife and mother has gone missing from her home, leaving behind 2 small children and a large pool of blood. Just a few miles away, a humble parson's daughters, the Bronte sisters, learn of the crime. Charlotte, Emily, and Anne Bronte are horrified and intrigued by the mysterious disappearance. These 3 creative, energetic, and resourceful women quickly realize that they have all kinds of skills required to make for excellent lady detectives. Not yet published novelists, they have well-honed imaginations and are expert readers. And as Charlotte remarks, detecting is reading between the lines. It's seeing what is not there. As they investigate, Charlotte, Emily, and Anne are confronted with a society that believes a woman's place is in the home, not scouring the countryside looking for clues. But nothing will stop the sisters from discovering what happened to the vanished bride, even as they find their own lives are in great peril. Okay, this next section of books from here down to here. So these and these all came from Owlcrate Junior boxes. So the first one I have here is Kiki, Kalira Breaks a Kingdom by Sanju Mandana. And this one says, Kiki Kalira has always been a warrior. Did she lock the front door? Is there a terrible reason her mom is late? Recently, her anxiety has been getting out of control, but one thing that has always soothed her is drawing. Kiki's sketchbook is full of fanciful, fanciful doodles of the rich Indian myths and legends her mother has told her over the years. One day, Kiki ends up falling into a mystical world of her sketchbook, where she discovers her characters have been brought to vivid life. From the awesome band of rebel kids who protect the kingdom to the less awesome evil god bent on total destruction. As the one responsible for creating him, Kiki must overcome her fear and anxiety to save both worlds, the real and the imagined, from his wrath. But how can a girl armed with only a pencil defeat something so powerful? And I just dropped my sign book plate. All right, next is a little graphic novel here. It says, So You Want to Be a Viking. And this is by, I don't really know, Georgia Amson Bradshaw. And this is just, I guess, information about Vikings. So, this is cute. And then we have Willowdean by Catherine Applegate. And this says, Willowdean adores creatures of all kinds, but her favorites are the most unlovable beasts in the land, strange beasts known as screechers. The villagers of Perchance call them pests, even monsters, but Willowdean believes the animals serve a vital role in the complicated web of nature. Lately, though, nature has seemed angry indeed. Perchance has been cursed with fires and mudslides, droughts and fevers, and even the annual migration of hummingbears. A source of local pride and income has dwindled. For as long as anyone can remember, the tiny animals have overwintered in shimmering, bubbling nests, perched atop blue willow trees, drawing tourists from far and wide. This year, however, not a single hummingbear has returned to Perchance, and no one knows why. When a handmade birthday gift brings an unexpected magic to Willowdean and her new friend Connor, she's determined to speak up for the animals she loves, and perhaps even uncover the answer to the mystery of the missing hummingbirds. This sounds really cute. Then we have Escape from Atlantis by Kate O'Hearn. And this says, the last way that Riley wanted to spend spring break was studying whales on the family sailboat in the middle of the Bermuda Triangle. With only her dad, aunt, and annoying cousin Alfie for company, she is so bored staring at the waves that she started to see mermaids between them. But when their boat is capsized during a sudden storm, Riley finds more excitement than she bargained for as she and Alfie are washed ashore with neither of their parents in sight. Where they've been shipwrecked is no deserted island, though. Atlantis is a place beyond imagination, inhabited by both people and incredible creatures ranging from unicorns and gargoyles to talking animals. But not everyone welcomes the cousins' arrival. And beneath the wonder of this mythical land lurk dangerous secrets. Something strange is happening to the inhabitants. What Riley wants more than anything is to find her father and go home. But the closer she gets to this goal, the more the islanders seem determined to keep her from reaching it. As Riley and Alfie unravel the mystery of Atlantis and its most terrifying part, the Forbidden Zone, they realize that the clock is ticking. If they can't learn what happened to their parents and find a way off the island soon, it may be too late to leave. And then we have The Plentiful Darkness by Heather Kasner. And this one says, in order to survive on her own, 12-year-old Rooney Dabara collects precious moonlight. which she draws from the evening sky with her very rare and most magical lunar mirror. All the while, she tries to avoid the rival roughhouse boys and another more terrifying danger, the dark-hearted magician, who's been disappearing children in the night. When Trick Aiden, the worst of the roughhouse boys, steals her mirror, Rooney will do whatever it takes to get it back, even if that means leaping into a pool of darkness after it swallows Trick and her mirror, or braving the plentiful darkness, a bewitching world devoid of sky and stars, or begrudgingly teaming up with Trick to confront the magician and unravel the magic that has trapped Wary Bones' children. Okay. All right, then we have The Night Silver Promise by Annalise Avery. This one says, defy your stars, rewrite the future. In the empire of Albion, the great dragons of old are long gone, hunted for centuries by cruel emperors fearing the power they possessed. Now governed by the science of celestial physicists, everyone's life is foretold by the track of stars on their wrist. When Paisley Fitzwilliam receives her track, she discovers that she is destined to die before the end of her 14th turning. Then, when her mother goes missing, Paisley is the only one left who can protect her dragon-touched brother, Dax, from being exposed as a descendant of the great dragons and taken by the Emperor's men. But an ancient power stalks the sewers of London. The dark dragon is rising, intent on restoring the great dragons of old at any cost, even if that means tearing Paisley's family apart. To save her brother, Paisley must trust her instincts and forge new friendships as she attempts to outrun fate itself. Her journey will take her across the floating boroughs of London above, through a vault guarded by dragon walkers, and into the dark sewers of London below, in order to unlock an ancient secret that will not only defy her stars, but will change the course of history forever. All right, then we have The Last Shadow Warrior by Sam Sabidi. This one says, an ancient enemy, a deadly quest, and she thought 6th grade math was hard. 12-year-old Abby Beckett is proud to come from a long line of elite Viking warriors known as the Aesir. It's her life's goal to hunt the monsters called Grendels, just like her mother did before she died. There's just one small problem. No Grendel has been seen in centuries, and the Viking elders want to disband the Aesir forever. After a mysterious attack on her home, Abby is forced to take refuge at Vale Hall, a secret-filled school in Minnesota where nothing is quite as it seems. When she tries to alert the elders that a Grendel is after her, they accuse her of making up stories for attention and claim her mother did the same. Desperate to protect her family and clear her mother's name, Abby goes on a dangerous quest to discover the truth. But with time running out, she quickly realizes that someone at her school is trying to stop Abby's progress and destroy the Aesir for good. Next, we have Strange Worlds Travel Agency by L.D. Lipinski. And this one says, at the Strange Worlds Travel Agency, each suitcase transports you to a different world. When 12-year-old Flick Hudson accidentally ends up in the Strange Worlds Travel Agency, she uncovers a fantastic secret. There are hundreds of other worlds just steps away from ours. All you have to do is visit them. To visit them is just jump into the right suitcase. Then Flick gets the invitation of a lifetime. Join Strange Worlds Magical Travel Society and explore other worlds. But unbeknownst to Flick, the world at the very center of it all, a city called Five Lights, is in danger. Buildings and even streets are mysteriously disappearing. Once Flick realizes what's happening, she must race against time, traveling through uncharted worlds, seeking a way to fix Five Lights before it collapses into nothingness and takes our world with it. And then the last of the Owl Crate Junior books, we have Amira and Hamza, The War to Save the Worlds by Samira Ahmed. This says, on the day of a rare super blue blood moon eclipse, 12-year-old Amira and her brother Hamza, little brother Hamza, can't stop their bickering while attending an exhibit on medieval Islamic astronomy. When aboard, Hamza wanders off, stumbling across the mesmerizing and forbidden Box of the Moon. Amira can only watch in horror as the defunct box springs to life, setting off a series of events that could shatter their world, literally. Suddenly, day turns to night. Everyone around Amira and Hamza falls under a sleep spell, and a chunk of the moon breaks off, hurtling toward them at lightning speed as they come face to face with two other worldly creatures, jinn. The jinn reveal that the siblings have a role to play in an ancient prophecy. Together they must journey to the mystical land of Kaf, battle a great evil, and end a civil war to prevent the moon, the stopper between realms, from breaking apart and unleashing terrifying jinn, devs, and ghouls onto Earth. Or they might have to say goodbye to their parents and life as they know it forever. From best-selling author Samira Ahmed comes a thrilling fantasy adventure intertwining in Islamic legend and history. So these books here are all from regular Owl Crate boxes. This first one doesn't have a dust jacket. The cover is actually made on it, so it doesn't have the description of the book. So I have pulled it up on Goodreads here. This is Lake's Edge by Lyndall Clipstone. And this says, a lush gothic fantasy about monsters and magic set on the banks of a cursed lake. Perfect for fans of Naomi Novik and Bridget Kimmerer. There are monsters in the world. When Violetta Graceling arrives at Haunted Lake's Edge Estate, she expects to find a monster. She knows the terrifying rumors about Rowan Sylvanen, who drowned his entire family when he was a boy. But neither the estate nor the monster are what they seem. There are monsters in the woods. As Letta falls for Rowan, she discovers he is bound to the Lord Under, the sinister death god lurking in the black waters of the lake, a creature whom Letta is inexplicably drawn. There's a monster in the shadows, and now it knows my name. Now, to save Rowan and herself, Letta must confront the darkness in her past, including unraveling the mystery of her connection to the Lord Under. All right. Then the next book here is Dreams Lie Beneath by Rebecca Ross. And this says, the realm of Aznor has been cursed. Every new moon, magic flows from the nearby mountain and brings nightmares to life. Only magicians who serve as territory wardens stand between people and their worst dreams. Clementine Madigan is ready to follow her father's footsteps as the warden of Hearswith, even though she yearns to study the wilder side of magic. Instead, she must record townspeople's nightmares so she and her father are prepared for the danger of the new moon. When her father's domain is challenged by two magicians, Clementine is drawn into a century-old conflict. She seeks revenge on one of the brothers who dueled with her father, but as she gets closer to the handsome young magician, secrets begin to rise, and Clementine, once keen on vengeance, must unite with her rival and face the realm's curse, which seems to be haunting her every turn. From acclaimed author Rebecca Ross comes a rich and nuanced story about vengeance, family, and the captivating power of dreams. Okay, next up we have A Lesson in Vengeance by Victoria Lee. And it has these beautiful gilded silver edges, and I love them. This says, Felicity Morrow is back at the Dalloway School, perched in the Catskill Mountains. The centuries-old, ivory-covered campus was home until the tragic death of her girlfriend. Now, after a year away, she's returned to finish high school. She even has her old room in Godwin House, the exclusive dormitory rumored to be haunted by the spirits of 5 Dalloway students. Girls some say were witches. The Dalloway 5 all died mysteriously, one after another, right on Godwin grounds. Witchcraft is woven into Dalloway's past. The school doesn't talk about it, but the students do. In secret rooms and shadowy corners, girls convene. And before her girlfriend died, Felicity was drawn to the dark. She's determined to leave that behind now, but it's hard when Dalloway's occult history is everywhere, and when the new girl won't let her forget. It's Ellis Haley's first year at Dalloway, and she has already amassed a loyal following. A prodigy novelist at 17, Ellis is a so-called method writer. She's eccentric and brilliant, and Felicity can't shake the pull she feels to her. So when Ellis asks Felicity to help her research the Dalloway 5 for her second book, Felicity can't say no. Given her history with the arcane, Felicity is the perfect resource. And when history begins to repeat itself, Felicity will have to face the darkness in Dalloway and in herself. Okay, my battery is flashing, so I'm going to go change that out real quick, and I will be right back. Okay, sorry if the angle changed. All right, next up is The Iron Key by Akshaya Raman. And this says, 4 siblings, a country in ruins, one quest to save them all. Vera is desperate to get out of her mother's shadow and establish her legacy as a revered queen of Ashoka. But with the country's only quarry running out of magic, a precious resource that has kept Ashoka safe from conflict, she can barely protect her citizens from the looming threat of war. And if her enemies discover this, they'll stop at nothing to seize the last of the magic. Vera's only hope is to find a mysterious object of legend, the Ivory Key, which is rumored to unlock a new source of magic. But in order to infiltrate enemy territory and retrieve it, she must reunite with her siblings, who have been torn apart by the different paths their lives have taken. Each of them has something to gain from finding the Ivory Key, and even more to lose if they fail. Ronak plans to sell it to the highest bidder to escape from his impending political marriage. Caleb, falsely accused of assassinating the former Maharani, needs it to clear his name. And Raya, a runaway who cut all family ties, seeks the key to prove her loyalty to the rebels who want to strip the nobility of its power. They must work together to survive the treacherous journey, but with each sibling harboring secrets and their own agendas, the very thing that brought them together could tear apart their family and their world for good. Okay, next up we have Sisters of the Snake by Serena and Sasha Nanua. And this says, Princess Rani has heard the whispers. Snake Princess, they call her. The girl with fangs for teeth. Her people fear her, yet her father doesn't believe her capable of ruling. Rhea is the quickest thief this side of the Var River. That's why she's still alive. But when she's conscripted into a looming war, she knows she has to be quicker than ever before to elude the royal army's grasp. These two lives collide, turning everything upside down because Rhea and Rani, orphan and princess, are unmistakably identical. A deal is struck. Both can get what they want if they switch places for less than 1 moon's time. But danger lurks in both worlds, and the two are thrust into a race to unravel a mysterious prophecy and locate a long-lost mythical object. To save their home, thief and royal must work together or watch it all fall into ruin. And this just sounds like fun. Next up is This Poison Heart by Kaylin Bayron. And this says, strange magic blooms behind a poison gate. Breesis has a gift. With a single touch, she can grow plants from tiny seeds to rich blooms. When Breesis's aunt dies and wills her a debilitated estate in rural New York, Bree and her parents hope that surrounded by plants and flowers, she will finally learn to control her gift. But their new home is sinister in ways they never expected. It comes with a mysterious set of instructions, a walled garden filled with the deadliest botanicals in the world, and generations of secrets. There is more to Bree's sudden inheritance than she could have imagined, and she's determined to uncover it. From the best-selling author of Cinderella is Dead comes an enchanting story about a young woman with the power to conquer the dark forces descending around her. I'm super excited for this one. Then we have The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan He. This one says, it's been 3 years and 17 days since C woke up on the shore of an abandoned island. She has no idea how she came to be marooned or what her life was like before. She is only the rickety house by the sea, the android she built for company, and a single memory. Somewhere beyond the horizon she has a sister, and it's up to C to escape the island and find her. A world away, a 16-year-old STEM prodigy, Casey, is also looking to escape from the science she once believed in and from her home. The eco-cities, Earth's last unpolluted habitats, are meant to be a sanctuary for those from deserving lineages, for those committed to planetary protection, but instead they're populated by people willing to do anything for refuge, even lie. After a series of man-made disasters rock the planet, Casey must decide if she's ready to use science to help humanity, even though it failed the people who mattered most to her. From Joan He, the critically acclaimed author of Descendants of the Crane, comes a stunning science fiction novel with mind-blowing twists. And then last but not least is Jade Fire Gold by June Clotan. And we have these beautiful green sprayed edges. This says, Ahan is no one. Found as a child, she has no memory of her past, only a dark secret. Magical powers that can mean her imprisonment if they were ever discovered. But when Ahan's secret is accidentally exposed, she is sent to the Imperial Palace to await her fate. Alton's name was once known throughout the Shi Empire. When his family was murdered and his birthright hijacked, he lost everything. Now with a new name and vengeance on his mind, he intends to gain it all back, even if it means entangling his very soul with dark and dangerous magic, from which he might never escape. When Alton encounters Ahan and her mysterious abilities, he sees in her a path to reclaiming the throne. Their tenuous alliance is on the verge of becoming something more when the depth of Ahan's dark powers are awakened, and the two realize restoring the Empire might come at a far deadlier price than they could have ever have imagined. I also think this sounds amazing. I'm super excited for a lot of these books. Have you guys read any of them? Did you like them? Did you not? Comment down below and let me know. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button down below. And until next time, remember to always be completely you. Bye!